So one thing that I spend a lot of time thinking about, it actually keeps me up at night a lot, is sometimes we'll work with companies and sometimes we crush it. And we've had some customers that have been with us for a year, 18 months. There's no reason to stop because they're just getting leads every day. And then sometimes there's companies that we're working with that we are not getting leads for. And I think about this all the time on how can we fix this. And so some of my previous videos, I was talking about how, you basically have three things you need to nail: email deliverability, list, and copywriting. And you can kind of tweak each one of those things to figure out what the problem is. But even then, sometimes we'll work with people and we're still not getting leads. And so one thing that I wanted to put out there and to have people think about is sometimes cold email might not work for your offer despite other channels working. And it might just be the timing of the way your email is trying to work, right? And so we had a company who was working with us, and they had customers that were really big, and they were, there was basically no reason of why outbound email shouldn't be working. But what we were trying to do is we were trying to get people to take demos. And I think if I could go back, what the mistake there is, if you are trying to get people to take demos of your product and they're not ready and they don't have enough education for demos around your product, then no matter what you say, they're just not going to be interested at that time. For instance, I think that if a company is really, really ingrained into HubSpot and you cold email them and you say, "Hey, can you switch from HubSpot to the CRM that I just launched?" I don't know. It's probably going to be really tough to get a 200-person company to switch to a CRM that they've never heard of before. That's just going to be the facts, right? And so I think that it's not, I think when you fundamentally think about cold email, you are reaching out to people who have never heard about your product or service on email, and you're trying to educate them about something and then try to get them to take some kind of action, which is basically how all marketing works. So why is cold email not working, but some of your other channels might be working instead? And like I said, I think you might be trying to attack the wrong part of the funnel, or we might be trying to attack the wrong part of the funnel. And I'm going to tell a story about Growth Engine X that I think um, illustrates this pretty well. And so I get most of my leads for the agency through this YouTube channel and through my LinkedIn content. I appreciate everybody for that. I love it. Thank you so much. And the reason why we do that is because I have just found that we could cold email people, and we have, and that's the story I'm going to tell. But the people who watch my content are so much more ready to go, and there is so much commoditization out in the market of cold email agencies that it's very difficult to make ourselves stand out, if you will, in just a cold email in a way that somebody could actually believe us, right? And because I can do, if somebody wants to work with us, I can do a one call close with somebody from YouTube, but then it takes from outbound sometimes 3 or 4 calls. They just need so much more hand holding, right? And so the outbound campaign that we were running, just to make sure that, hey, if LinkedIn banned me, we have an outbound campaign that we could run for people. I was reaching out to people and I would AI generate basically the first 3 campaigns that we would run for them. And I would say, hey, I saw you're looking to sell to VPs of finance, to sell them expense management, whatever it might be. Uh, I had some ideas of how you could be reaching these people with outbound emails. 1, 2, 3. The reason I say this is because I run an agency. We've done things like this for customers all the time. Would you want to chat about how we can implement some of these ideas or any ideas that you have? We booked tons of calls from this. It was great. If you're an outbound agency, run it. You're going to book calls. But here's the problem you're going to get is we would then talk about pricing, and basically everyone thought that we were going to be a pay for performance agency because there are so many emails in their inbox every single day of pay for performance agencies. And so I was thinking, wow, this is taking so much more effort versus I shouldn't even be taking these calls. And the amount of calls that I was taking on outbound emails, if I just made more YouTube videos, I would have come out on the other side way, way better, right? I should have just focused on inbound. So then I literally, the focusing on inbound was the thing that made me think. And I thought, you know what? These people, they receive all these pay for performance emails, and so they expect us to be pay for performance, and I need to meet them where they're at. And if they could just get into my universe and we could use cold email to get them into our universe, then I could nurture them over a long enough period of time, and when they're ready, they'll reach out to us, and then we can show a little bit more of our brand and how often we've done this and all these kind of things. Like the outbound email people would ask me for references, and if you've watched my YouTube channel, that, I mean, yes, I'll give you references, because anybody who doesn't give you references is, probably a scammer. But it would just blow my mind because I had tons of people who wanted to work with us, and they were just ready to go, right? And so it made me think, okay, how could I get these people into my universe with little to no effort, but we could do it automatically? And so then what I started doing is I was thinking, oh, wow, so many of our customers want to know when somebody is recently hired at a SaaS company or an e-commerce company or a Fortune 5000 company or whatever it might be. Let me send them a list of all of the new hires at these companies, right? And so then what I found out from that outbound campaign is that nobody cared about that because not everybody sells to SaaS, e-com, and Fortune 5000 companies or recently founded companies. That's just for some reason the people who come to us. So then I said, okay, go back to the drawing board. Let's do this instead. Let's get a list of every recently hired person with a head seniority or above, so head, VP, president, chief. Let's make a list of every person that we possibly can, and we'll just give that away for free. And so then that started working really well. And so then what we would do is I would cold email everybody and I'd say, hey, I run an outbound agency. All of our customers want to target like new enroll people. Here's a list of every new enroll person that we could possibly find with a head, role. I included as many things as I could about them so you could filter it as much as you want. Do you want the list? They'd say, yes, I want the list. That worked really, really well. Then I would say, all right, hey, do you want to be notified about when we update this every Monday? And we can just send you a quick email that we updated the list. And I'll also be dropping some other things in there too. They say, yep, I want to be a part of that. And so then that's how we built our newsletter up like that. And so we don't need this right now because we're not in a growth standpoint now, but basically the way I figured out that this growth loop worked is then I added people to the newsletter. We hit the newsletter. I think we sent the newsletter like 6 times, and then I would send one of my YouTube videos. And every time we sent it, I would see my subscribers bump every time we had an email newsletter go out. And then we would book meetings, particularly from the link in the video that I sent in there. And so then I closed like 2 of them and I said, okay, this growth loop is working. And so the reason I wanted to tell this story is because if outbound email isn't working for you, you might be meeting your prospects at the wrong part of the funnel. If you if nothing is working for you, if you literally just use cold email to just say, hey, I'm building a community of these kinds of people, these cool people are already in this community, would you want to join the community? You're going to get a certain percentage of those people to say yes. Now, how useful is that to you depends on the way the rest of your marketing is going. Like, do you really want to become a community manager and then, run events to the community and then, set meetings with people in the community? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But basically, cold email will work for that. So even if you are a staffing and recruiting company and you just get people to join a community and then you build up that community, and then anytime they are looking for, a new job, they can come to you first, that will work. It's just how much time and where are they in the funnel. And so then that's where, now us as an agency, if you're paying us as an agency, oftentimes people don't want to run campaigns like that because, they're paying us and the math isn't working out, and they really need to be booking meetings. But if you're doing this on your own and you can spend a little bit of time, it doesn't take that much time to run a community. It doesn't take that much or don't even think about it as a community, just like a newsletter, or just because if you say, hey, here's a free thing, do you want access? Even if it's just, I'm just using a community because any business, if you were the manager of a community with 3,000 ICP prospects, you would grow. Like, that's just a fact. And so it's not that cold email isn't working. You just might be meeting them at the wrong time of in your funnel of their awareness. And I think the lesson that I want everybody to learn from this video is whether you're not getting the right qualified people or you're not getting any responses at all, you can increase where they are at in the funnel to have them take less of actions and still make cold email ROI work. It might not work with an ROI of working with an agency, but it definitely still work with just yourself. And so that's just one thing that has been on my mind as well too, is sometimes us agency owners, we get in this, oh, cold email isn't working because this customer's offer is bad. And I don't think their offer is bad because otherwise they wouldn't be in business. Like, how would they have paid you if their offer is really that bad? It's more about getting cold email and interruption marketing, right? Like, it's not like Google Ads where somebody is searching for this thing. Getting interruption marketing working on a level within the funnel that you're going to meet the prospects where they're at on, right, is more of the important part. And so whether you're doing this with an agency or you're doing it yourself, if it's not working, besides taking a look at, are you nailing inbox deliverability? Are you nailing your list? Are you nailing your messaging? Are you testing enough with messaging? Are you testing enough with lists? All those other things. Think about what can you do at higher points in the funnel instead of just trying to go for a meeting with them. And that's how you can, increase your ROI on the outbound campaigns that you're running. I hope that helps somebody, and I hope you enjoy that story.